Yes, good morning. Sava here from Football Heritage TV. Could be an afternoon, could be an evening, wherever you are. The day after the match before. Not the result that many wanted, not the result that many predicted, including myself. I thought we were going to run out nice and easy winners there. But a result that lots did say, lots were worried. And to be fair, I was in the chat yesterday morning laughing and joking that, hey, you call me negative after I'm predicting a 3-4-0 win. And some Spurs fans are going, I just can't see us winning. I don't think we're that good. We're 45-minute FC. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, like these people are even more negative than me. They were bang on. They were absolutely spot on. Hold my hands up. I truly believed we were going to come out and something would have changed. Did I believe that? I'm not so sure. I've been told that all summer. He's working on it. We were doing things in training. And unfortunately, what we've seen there is Ange ball. We've seen 45 minutes where we've dictated play. We've had all the ball, struggled to score goals. And then we've seen 45 minutes where we've had some good moments. But the other team have worked out by half-time, hang on, we can get in behind them here. This isn't going to be that difficult to score a goal. And unfortunately, whether we want to call it tactics, player ability, individual player mistakes, bottling, whether we want to call it, whatever you want to call it, unfortunately, nothing has changed. And I don't mean about one game. So I need to make this really clear before we go deeper into this video. This isn't about one game yesterday. This isn't about not being able to beat Leicester City because on the face value, it's the first game of the season. This, for me, is the bigger picture. That I keep hearing that things are changing, that the players are learning, the players understand his system better. He has said that. Multiple football commentators have said that. Pundits have said it. So many of the fan base that don't actually use critical thinking have said it. But there is zero evidence that any of this is in effect throughout pre-season, into this game, the end of last season. And the question I want to ask is, I said I think Spurs will finish 7th. I stand by that. Possibly 6th if we do something really good in the last, the last 11 days, 10 days of the window. But lots of people going, I think we're going to finish 2nd. I think we can finish 3rd. I think we're better than them and we're going to finish 4th and win 2 trophies. I need to ask them, please come on my show and tell me what you're seeing. I will call people out. I will call them out. Sonny talks Spurs. Come on, please. I keep seeing all this nice, fluffy stuff. I'm not seeing anything you're talking about in your videos actually happen on the pitch. Mitch Stretton, another one. Deji. I'll talk about Deji. Come on. It's this constant going on other channels and saying, we're better than them. We're better than them. This is brilliant Ange ball. And none of it is true. None of it is true. And I'm going to break it down why it's not true in a minute. Ben Bowman's another one. Goes on. Listen, Ben Bowman, I think he looks like a lovely guy. But Ben Bowman will put out a video and say, fantastic Spurs sign wonder kid. And he gets 28,000 views. And I'm thinking, that's fine, get your views. But how many people watching that are actually watching that and going, yeah, I truly believe this? It feels like no one's actually adding context to what is going on at Tottenham Hotspur. We've made up this fake narrative of a youth project, and I'll dispel that myth in about 30 seconds in a minute. This youth project, an Ange ball, and I win in my 2nd season. All of this stuff is words. It's fluffy, fluffy words with no context and no deliverables. There's no one accountable for this. We're just saying fluffy things. And if last night wasn't an eye-opener, it's not the end of the world. I truly think we're going to go on and beat Everton easily. But if that wasn't an eye-opener as to what Spurs needed and as to how we wasted this summer window, I don't know what is. It doesn't seem to matter with a lot of this fan base how much we see, how bad we defend, how many times we give the ball away at a rate of knots in midfield, how much our wingers can't beat a man, how much we struggle to score goals, how bad the substitutions are from Ange. It doesn't seem to matter what we see. We come out at the end of it and just go, oh, I love this. Give this manager time. But it's got to be going that way, and it's not. And here's a few home truths. People don't like home truths, but I'm going to say them anyway. And yes, I know what's going to happen. I know that half my comments will be with people going, yes, yes, yes. And the other half will just be people abusing because they can't debate the points. But let's do it. I'm going to decompartmentalize in this video Ange ball from the summer signings to the defence, to the midfield, to the forward. Okay? I'm going to look at all of these different compartments of Tottenham Hotspur. And I want to ask really what the F has changed from last year. Can't keep saying it's changed. We can't just keep saying it's changed when the evidence suggests the complete opposite. Let's start with a few home truths. In the Premier League now for Tottenham Hotspur, that is three clean sheets in 30 Premier League games. 3 clean sheets in 30 Premier League games. And yet, apparently, no one can get in our defence. We've got the best defence when they're all fit. No one can get in that defence. 3 clean sheets in 30. Now, granted, they haven't played all 30 games together, but they've played a lot of them together. 3 clean sheets in 30. In the last 12 Premier League games, Spurs have won 4 games. 4 games in the last 12. By the way, there's only been 1 draw in there, which was West Ham away. 1 draw, 4 wins, and 7 defeats. Those 4 wins, again, I know people don't want this. They don't want evidence. They don't want facts. Those 4 wins were against Burnley, who got relegated. Luton Town, who got relegated. Sheffield United on the last day of the season, who got relegated. And Nottingham Forest, who were in a relegation battle. So 3 clean sheets in 30. 4 wins from our last 12 games, all against relegated clubs or relegation battle clubs. Our form in the last 28 games of last season saw us finishing 12th or 13th or something like that in the league. We conceded 61 goals. We concede goals for fun in pre-season. And yet people are sitting there going, this youth project, this is the way we want to go. Give them 3 or 4 years. Well, let's look at this, shall we? All summer. Oh, my God, you're just all negative. You're all negative. Mikey Moore's generational. Lancashire's going to bang in goals for fun. Look how good Tyrese Hall and Jamie Donnelly and Alfie Devine, Ashley Phillips, blah, 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 blah. Generational. It gets to the first game of the season and not one of them's on the bench. Not one of them is anywhere near the squad to be seen. This manager wants to play Brennan Johnson over generational Mikey Moore. This manager would rather bring on Timo Werner at right wing. He's crap on his own wing, let alone on the right wing, than bring on Mikey Moore. I just don't know. I need some evidence. I need somebody in the Spurs community that can bring some facts, some evidence, and come on and show me what's changing. Because, listen, we draw the first game of the season. Not a big deal. But again, context here, this isn't about one game. This is about nothing's changing. So let's look at our defence, shall we? Before we look at our window, let's look at the areas of the pitch. Our defence is praised and praised and praised. Van der Ven and Romero, the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League. I mean, have a day off. Who is truly believing that nonsense? The best centre-back partnership in the Premier League, they're not even up there. We praise it. Oh, my God, a doggy. Who's going to come and be back up to a doggy? I hate to break it to you. Destiny Udogie is not a left-back. He is a left wing-back whose strength isn't defending. Destiny Udogie yesterday got taken to the cleaners time after time after time by Fatawu, a guy that's just come up from the Championship. And yes, we can say he's not match fit, but he played 9 days ago. He's had 9 days of training. And unfortunately, when you look back to last season, this is what Udogie does. He gets skinned a lot. He gives the ball away a lot. And that's a phrase you're going to hear a lot from me today. But everyone, oh my God, look at Udogie. We talk about our son. Oh my God, look at him. He's immense. He's a young player that is being played out of position that needs some time to learn his position. But Spurs fans went, boom. boom, he's there. Pedro Porro, absolutely sensational in the other half of the pitch. He's absolutely sensational in that half. This way, never in position. At fault for the goal. Him and Romero at fault for the goal. They let their man run all the time. These players let their man run. But again, Pedro Porro, best right back. Can't believe he didn't go to the Euros for Spain. Can't believe he wasn't in the squad. He's better than all their right backs. As they went and won the tournament. As he's watching people like Danny Carvajal in front of him, a proper right back. And then we look at Van der Ven. And by the way, I think Udogie and Porro are fantastic footballers. I just don't think they're fantastic defenders. I think they're fantastic footballers. But going that way, not coming this way, huge difference. Then Van der Ven and Romero. These two are talked about. And I really like Van der Ven, I do. But these two are talked about in such glowing terms that sometimes I have to take a step back and say, what am I missing? Now, they're good centre-backs. But the errors yesterday, again, the errors, we saw this last season. The errors are just shocking. I mean, Romero, how many times was he nowhere to be seen as Jamie Vardy was receiving the ball? Constantly, Jamie Vardy got goal side of Romero. Constantly, Romero's looking round and then has to do a last-ditch header or tackle. A top centre-half doesn't lose his man that much. A top centre-half is positionally aware. Van der Ven kept bringing it out, losing the ball. Van der Ven kept losing his man as well. Look, this isn't just, again, I can't explain this enough. This isn't just about yesterday's game. But this is now becoming every game. We can't defend. We cannot defend 3 clean sheets in 30 games. We are letting in goal after goal. And let's be brutally honest. If it wasn't for Vicario, Jamie Vardy had the best chance of the game there to bury that and make it 2-1. And again, he's played through behind Porro and Romero, nowhere to be seen. And he should have scored. And as the game went on, and don't get me wrong, first half we played some lovely stuff. But it's okay to play lovely stuff when the other team don't want to do anything. Second half, it's almost like they've gone in at half time and Steve Cooper's gone, I know what we do here. And somebody made a great point yesterday. They said it's taken newly promoted Leicester with Steve Cooper for 45 minutes of football to work out how to counter Spurs. That is truly accurate and truly worrying. So when I look at that back four, I'm not saying it's not a good back four, but I think it's completely played wrong. And our centre-half seem to be so much more worried again about going that way and what we do with the ball rather than actually defending. Defend first, then worry about going forward. It's just all very backwards. And again, if Leicester City, who, let's be fair, Leicester City shouldn't have been anywhere near us last night. But if they can figure it out, other teams have figured it out. And we'll get to the signing part of where this all fits in a minute. The midfield. I thought Bentancur did okay. Before it unfortunately got the injury, but I thought he did okay. Made some really good recoveries. Papa Sarr, I'll be honest, I don't know what, I've said this before, I don't really know what Papa Sarr is as a midfielder. I think he gets a lot of hype, a lot of talk about he could be great, he's going to be great. But when you talk about players are going to be great, surely you have to see something in the first instance where you go, oh yeah, look, if he hones that. Again, he's our first team starter. Other clubs are playing proper central midfielders. We're playing Papa Sarr, who, again, I don't know what he is. But again, you watch how many times Bentancur, Sarr, how many times we lose the possession of the ball in the midfield. It's criminal. And that didn't change, by the way. When Bergvall and Gray come on, the number of times the ball is given away is criminal. They're kids, it's fine, but it's criminal. James Maddison, who was the best player on a park by a country mile. Best player on a park. He's having to come out wide left and out wide right to get the ball because everyone is in his space. Everyone is in his space. Porro's in there, Udogie's in there, Bergvall's in there, Gray's in there. Son's coming into there. Brennan Johnson. Get away from him. Get away from him. Let James Maddison operate. We saw it yesterday. If you give James Maddison a tiny bit of space, he will create. He was getting on the ball. He was finding gaps. He set up the goal. But again, we crowd him. We crowd him with these tactics that everyone seems to love. Ange ball. What is it? What is Ange ball? Look, for me, I've said it all summer. We need two proper top midfielders for me if we want to get top four. If we want to be anywhere near competing with the big boys, we need a couple of top midfielders. And again, we've neglected it. We'll get to the transfers in a minute, but we decided to bring in two 18-year-old midfielders rather than actually try and strengthen the 11. So now we'll get to the forward line. Brennan Johnson. God, I don't know what else can be said about this man. He was truly atrocious yesterday. Truly. And this is becoming an every game thing. He can't beat a man. His crossing is awful. He has no skill. His touch and control on the ball is non-existent. The number of times the ball goes out to him and he miscontrols it and it goes out of play. But don't worry, he tracked back a few times and that makes it all right. As a winger, the one thing wingers love, go and speak to any winger, the one thing wingers love is grass to run into. How many times yesterday Brennan Johnson's got 10, 20, 30 yards of grass to run into? Cut back, 5-yard pass, cut back, 5-yard pass. For me, I don't even need to spend a lot of time on this. This was £47 million of money. Again, last season when I said a wasted summer window, Brennan Johnson, 47 million. Could have got Mohamed Kudus for less than that. Gordon was less than that. Cole Palmer was less than that. It's madness. Then we go to the left side. And I hate to say it. Listen, Sonny's been an absolute brilliant player for this football club. But more and more, I think we're seeing that he's having less and less effect on games. Now, in the forward position last year, yeah, he's going to have moments where he scores goals. Playing from this left-hand side at the moment, unfortunately, we think we've got Sonny from 3 or 4 years ago with that blistering pace who can beat a man. Unfortunately, what we're seeing from Sonny now, and I don't know if this is the manager's tactics or he's getting a bit older. He's been a top footballer, no doubt, but he's getting on a bit now. Get the ball, cut inside, pass it to Maddison. Get inside, get the ball, cut inside, pass it to Udogie. There's no excitement out of him anymore. He doesn't scare defenders anymore. He now looks like a very average Premier League winger that isn't much better than what other clubs have got. And again, that happens with age. But what was our plan? Our plan was to go and get Timo Werner on loan to play in behind him as the number 2. Again, what have we done? What's changed? What a wasted summer window. Then we look at Solanke. Look, it's really tough. Solanke's not played for us. It's his first game. For me, he looked a bit rusty. I'm hoping that was rust because his first touch and control was dreadful. I'm hoping that is purely down to rustiness. I'm really hoping that that is not how he plays. One thing I will say, and something just to look out for over the coming games and the coming months, as I said before in the summer, when playing for Bournemouth, Bournemouth don't have 10 men behind the ball against them. So he's got space to operate in. They've got space to feed him into. Against Spurs, he's going to have 10 men behind him most of the time. And as you saw yesterday, when he's getting that ball, he's in tight spaces. And in tight spaces, you need good footwork. I don't know. Listen, really difficult to judge Solanke yesterday. He should have scored. He had so many gilt-edged chances. On another day, surely he scores. But again, look, again, for me, toothless forward line, very flaky, mediocre midfield, and the defence are more worried that way than this way. The first 45 minutes was easy. It was almost like Leicester paid us too much respect. And it was almost like Spurs didn't know how to take advantage of it. But come out the second half and Spurs collapsed. Spurs do what Spurs do. And again, I've heard all summer, he's going to tweak it. He's going to tweak so that both fullbacks don't invert. He's going to make a number 6. None of these things are happening. It's nice talk for nice talk's sake. And then when we look at the subs coming on, Richarlison is crap. I don't care what anyone says. He is really poor. Kulu huffed and he puffed. but we saw that he hasn't got any pace. So as the moment they put a quick player on him, he took the ball off him every time. Bergvall and Gray. I just read a really good WhatsApp message. I'm not going to say from who. And this is what the WhatsApp message said. And I really believe in this. He said we shouldn't be bringing on 2 times 18-year-olds with the expectation that we regain control of a football match. It's too much to ask a couple of kids who haven't played in this league and don't have experience. They should be coming on in games when you're 1, 2, 3-0 up with the last 15 minutes at this point and starting cup games. And that was right. We brought these kids on to try and rescue the game back. And unfortunately, Bergvall and Gray want too much time on the ball. They were caught on the ball time after time after time. And again, this is a theme we've seen in pre-season. But unfortunately, because we didn't buy top players, what we're doing now is overhyping these kids. Oh my God, they're brilliant. Did you see their cameo? Watch their cameos deeper. Actually go back, watch the game and do a fan cam on Gray. Do a fan cam on Bergvall. These are kids that need time. So this brings me back to Ange and the transfer window. By the way, I'm not knocking Bergvall and Gray. They need time. For me, Gray should be out on loan, playing 40, 50 games this season for Leeds. He should be out on loan. He should not have been the guy we brought in to spend 40, 30 million, whatever it was of our transfer budget, and telling him, go on, we need you now to rescue us. He's not ready. You can see that from pre-season. He's not ready. So now we look at Ange. Now we look at the summer signings. Again, everyone's talking project youth, project youth, project youth. We've signed loads of kids. None of them are anywhere to be seen. Bergvall and Gray on the bench. So you start the season with the same 11 other than Solanke. And what we do to make ourselves feel better is go, oh, Lord, the bench looks better. I mean, come on. The bench has still got Kulu, Richie, Davis, Spence, Austin, 2 kids. The bench isn't better. We haven't signed players that come in and go, boom, make a massive difference. I don't know if I'm an idiot. I don't know if this was just the child fan in me. I was thinking, finished 5th last year. We're going to have some money this year. Go out and drop 3 or 4 first-team players in. Make those tweaks. Bring in a top centre midfielder. Bring in a top winger. And you know why I know I'm not an idiot for saying this? All of you were saying this at the beginning of the summer as well. We all said it. If we bring in a top winger, if we bring in a top central midfielder, if we bring in a top forward, but we didn't do any of it. Solanke, look, people can say a top forward. For me, you've got to do more than 1 season of 19 goals to be called a top forward. But again, we've not done anything that all of us fans wanted. But what's happened is some of us have remained the same throughout the summer, saying, well, why aren't we doing what we need to do? Others have now gone down the club line of, it's a youth project, innit? Innit? Wait 5 years for the fruit, innit? Guys, I'm not bothered that we drew a game. I'm bothered that when I'm watching that game, nothing has changed. Leicester City worked out very quickly how to get in behind us with their wingers. They worked out very quickly that you put one ball over the top and Jamie Vardy's going to get in time after time. This is an unfit Jamie Vardy, who's 37, by the way, who kept losing world-class Romero. Look, I want this project, process, whatever to work. But all the facts and evidence in 2024 show that it's not. The manager comes out and goes, oh, we've got to score more goals. We're not ruthless. And you picked these players. Ange decided that Werner, that Johnson should be should be at Tottenham Hotspur. Solomon, now Odegaard. Ange decided this. Ange decides these tactics. Look, we've got Everton at the weekend. What that will do, we'll beat Everton and everyone will go, see, it's really good. 4 points from 6. Should be 6 points from 6. Because then you've got Arsenal, Newcastle, Man United, Brentford, which won't be easy. But look, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. As I've said, I think we're a 6th, 7th place team. I think that's what we are. But I really think that fans especially need to take a step back and actually acknowledge some of the facts and evidence rather than the heart. I saw again that Alice girl. Seems really, really nice girl. I know people that work with her said she's really nice. She's pumping out these videos about Spurs' youth system, Spurs' academy. No academy player other than Brandon Austin on the bench. So again, when you've got creators out there like that pumping this narrative, this is going to be brilliant. Look what he's doing. He's not actually doing what these people are saying he's doing. It's the same bloody team as last year with Solanke. So for me, I just think I can't see anything changing this season. I don't think it's going to be dreadful. I don't think it's going to be brilliant. I can't see anything changing. I think most of our games are going to be like this, where we concede goals, other teams get at us. Now, we're going to win games. There's enough poor teams in that league that we're going to win games. But somebody messaged me last night and said, hopefully that's the wake-up call to the Spurs fans. And you know my first response was, it won't be. They'll double down and it'll bury their heads. I saw We Are Tottenham TV. If we play like that more often than not, we're going to win more games than we lose. Well, of course we're going to win more than we lose. We're a 5th, 6th, 7th place team for the last few years. Of course we will. But how are people watching how Spurs crumbled again yesterday and then finding those positives from it is madness. Not looking at any facts from pre-season, any facts from the last 30 games of last season. We're burying our heads in sand and we're expecting things to change when the manager isn't changing, the owner isn't changing, the transfer policy isn't changing, the tactics aren't changing. I stand by everything I've said all summer. To summarise this video, I stand by everything I've said all summer. If I'm wrong at the end of the year, at the end of the season, I will hold my hands up. But again, I can't see anything that has changed from last year. I can't see one thing that's changed. And I'll ask this question. I'll leave it on this. What's changed? That's my question. What has changed? I don't mean buying Bergvall and Gray, 2 18-year-old kids. What has changed? Tactically, on the pitch, what has changed? Guys, girls, can't wait for the comments to this one. Look, it is what it is. Onwards and upwards to Everton. I truly believe we're going to beat Everton at White Hart Lane. There's no way we won't beat Everton and Leicester. But again, already 2 points dropped. And as I've said, Ange Ball, whatever it is, won't change. And a wasted summer window. Is reality hitting home? Take care, people. And as always, come on, you Spurs.